We are live. The recording button is up top, so it says we're recording.
Okay, well. So we have attendees are coming in at this point.
Yeah.
I think we have all the attendees that are waiting are in, so we can go.
All right, you ready to pull up the PowerPoint?
Let me share the screen.
Right, and normally this would be the point where you'd start the recording.
Yep, it's recording.
Yep, but we got some noise.
All righty. Call the meeting to order. This is the Borough of Crafton Council meeting for March 25th. It's a Thursday. Thank you for attending. We're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Amendola will be joining us late, so he's absent at the moment. Mr. Chandler?
Here.
Mr. Kraus? I don't believe he is here, absent. Mr. Crown?
Here.
Mr. Lavasser?
Here.
Mr. Oliverio?
Here.
Ms. Perry?
Here.
Mayor Bloom?
Here.
Solicitor Corbel?
Here.
And myself. We have a quorum.
All right. We have a motion to approve the March 25th consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes for March 11th, 2021, and the bills list dated March 25th, 2020.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All that oppose? None that oppose, motion passes. Moving forward to the acknowledgement of receipt of written reports for February 2021, which includes the financial report, the Act 511 trash collection report, the property tax collection report, police, EMS, code enforcement reports, the building inspection reports, the public works, and library reports.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments about the reports? Hearing none at this time, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Or we have the approvals of those reports. Thank you. All right. Could you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I have that up and I'm sharing the screen, Ms. Perry, I think, had referenced it. The actual screen for the PowerPoint or for the Zoom controls like disappears.
It's really hard to do.
And I don't have the double screens.
Yeah, let's just keep it in PowerPoint. Like, don't go to view mode. Just keep it. Can you keep it in just a slide deck view?
Yeah, here, let me go back to that. Oh, I'm sorry. Colette, are you going to be able to allow the people in? Yeah, this is.
I am not in as an organizer.
Yeah, hold on here.
I apologize.
It's all right. And just for the public, everybody knows we had some changing of the guard here, moving people around. Colette is now the vice president of council, and we just have different folks doing different things right now. So, and the manager's doing the PowerPoint. So, everybody in public, please excuse the growing pains here. I think we're good now, right?
So Philip, are you able to see if Fred comes in?
Yeah, it'll pop up.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, Fred, thank you. All right, great. All right, now we're going to move on to public comments on the agenda. At this time, citizens may address the Crafton Borough Council and any issue appearing on today's agenda. Only residents and taxpayers of the Borough of Crafton will be permitted to address the council. Comments on non-agenda items will be taken at the end of tonight's meeting. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Groups of people will be required to designate a spokesperson to represent them before the council, who may speak for a maximum of 5 minutes. Please state your name and physical address for the record.
All right, so anyone who would like to speak, you have the ability to raise your hand, and then one of us will set it so that your microphone will be on.
Claudia, do you see I just swapped you
Yes,
over to
I do see that. Okay, I am not seeing any hands raised.
I
We'll
don't.
give one more.
One moment. Councilman Kraus is calling out the CV as a technical difficulty. 1 second.
Okay.
Mr. Kraus? We have a council meeting. Are you calling? Are you having a technical issue? All right. Well, hop on, please. Thank you. Yes, we are. Thank you. All righty.
Okay.
Moving forward, I don't see any questions from the audience. I'm going to move forward to the president's report. I don't have much to report this evening, so I'm going to move forward to the mayor's report. Any item I will address during the engineer's report.
Okay, I just have some stuff, and I pretty much directed at the council at large, president council, and the borough manager. I talked about a sidewalk on South Grandview Avenue. It's at number 23 South Grandview. And this is the brand new sidewalk that was just installed, and it's part of the driveway entrance, and the sidewalk itself has been all chewed up and been demolished, and all it is now is gravel. Like somebody did some repairs and have not completed, restoration of that particular sidewalk. And I was just want to make you guys aware that this is sitting like that at this time. Also, there's numerous street openings in town for sewer repair, water repairs, and that were done. Particularly, we'll talk about Crafton Boulevard. It was just paved last year, and then somebody came through subsequent to the fresh paving and dug a hole at the corner of Emerson and Crafton Boulevard. That's sat like that since last summer. No repairs. Just it's the binder coat that's sitting there. North Emily Street, sewer repair. Nothing's been followed up on. Union Avenue, this was mentioned, and I received several calls after the Union Avenue project was mentioned, that possibly of People's Gas opening the street and doing the street repairs. And I just wanted to know what council or president council or borough manager may have as far as the sidewalk, the street openings, and the Union Avenue project. Well, the street openings and the sidewalk repairs are back, and I don't want those to get lost in the 2021 road project, that they don't end up in the back seat and nothing happens all year. Thank you.
Great questions, Mayor Bloom, and I believe the engineer will be able to address a number of those issues. I'll say with regards to the issue over near North Emily, that's an item that I believe the engineer is going to be working on, and then the one is actually something the borough did, and Mr. Minsterman's going to be able to speak to that because that's actually dealing with the Johnson Street. That it's the one near Johnson Street, correct?
Now, this one is on Crafton Boulevard at the intersection of Emerson Street, which is like, a third of a block away. Johnson Street's one thing. This one is right at the corner of Emerson and Crafton Boulevard.
Okay. Yeah, well, Engineer Minsterman.
He does not attend the second meeting,
Oh, okay.
but I have been working with Mr. Killen, our Public Works Director, regarding these. We've got a list together, and these are a priority with the utility companies and the sewer repairs, both ours and as well as private sewer repairs, private lateral repairs. So this is a priority. Union Avenue, we have had discussions with the engineer, with Gateway. The project manager there is Brian Flaw, and we are scheduling a walkthrough in particular about Union to see if the sections that can be spot repaired, as well as the other reconstructions we're looking at. So they are in process, and they will be addressed, particularly the street openings, now that the weather is amenable to the hot patch.
Well, I just was thinking that Mr. Lavasser mentioned wanting to have a ribbon cutting, so to speak, for South Grandview Avenue. And if anybody would walk down there, they'd have to walk through, brand new sidewalk that no longer exists. That's, just one of the items. Thank you.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you, Mr. Sample, for following up on those items. All right. We're going to move forward to the Solicitors Report.
Nothing to report this evening, Mr. President. Sorry about the mute delay there.
That's right. I'm actually battling my son right now. He's turning on all the Google Homes and trying to have like a dance party while we're on this meeting. It's actually quite amusing. Any rate, moving forward to the manager's report.
Just one item that council needs to begin to think about with our DCNR master parks plan that we've been granted through DCNR. We've asked for the waiver to use EPD, who did the 2013 parks recreation plan, comprehensive plan. So one of the first things that council will need to do is establish the steering committee. DCNR recommends for this type of plan, the master plan, a 7-member board. So maybe a starting point would be 2 members of council, 2 members of the rec committee, and then we solicit 3 members from the public to form the steering committee. That would be my recommendation, how we move forward with.
We grab some folks off the planning committee meeting.
I'm sorry, was that Mr. Kraus?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I couldn't log in before. Can we grab some folks off the planning committee maybe, or is there any? Any rules that say we
Yeah,
can't?
that would, council could choose. We could increase the number of seats. They think that 7 is a good number, DCNR. But yes, the makeup, but we definitely do want members of the public on there.
Yeah, and so we have the rec board, the planning commission, so maybe 1 or 2 people from both, and 1 or 2 people from, from council, members of the public. So I don't know if we want to put letters of interest out on the website to see if we have anybody from the public that would like to sit on that. I'm looking for council's input on who they think should participate in this plan. Ms. Perry?
Yeah, I would concur with the idea of putting out letters of interest. I think it's important. I think we saw the benefit of that when we did that for our recent vacancies on council, that that method brings new people to the fore as opposed to just tapping people that we already know.
I agree. All right.
Yeah, we can definitely get that on the website, and we'll follow the same procedure. It'll come to council, the council email, and then CC the manager email.
Excellent.
That's all I have, unless there's any other questions on any other matters on the agenda or anything else.
We'll just get to it in the agenda items on the business agenda. All right, next page. All right, first motion on the business agenda, motion for Public Works hiring. The borough received 15 applications for the 2 open Public Works positions, and 4 candidates were selected for interviews. We have a motion to hire Tyler Albert and Ray Merman for the position of Public Works laborer starting on April 1st, 2021, conditioned on them successfully passing the background check and drug test.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, you have the floor, Mr. Hammond.
Okay. I'm going to vote yes on both these young gentlemen. And, but I just wanted to say that, way back when some of you and some of your colleagues let the policemen go, we said that we were going to take steps to get the Civil Service Commission to prepare a new test so that we could get our police department to full capacity again. And I haven't seen any movement on doing that, but I would hope that you would do that, like you said you were going to do. That's all.
I'd have to ask the chair, do we not have a motion for Public Works on the floor right now? I'm confused.
That's all right.
Can I ask for a point of order?
Fine.
All right. Well, does anybody else from council have a question about the motion on the table? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Thank you. All right. Moving forward to 1528 Bar Avenue demolition project. The borough received 2 bids for the demolition. The bid opening was today. Is that correct, Mr. Sample?
Yeah, you're correct. 10:30 this morning.
And so everybody knows, last year we tried going through the bid process. We had a very high bid of nearly $60,000. So the engineer recommended that we rebid, and as I read the motion here, you'll see that it's substantially less than the last bid. A motion move to award the demolition contract of 1528 Bar Avenue to Minifill Demolition Services LLC in the amount of $34,618.75 per the recommendation of Gateway Engineers.
So moved.
I second it.
All right, any questions?
What is the reason for the demolition?
Yes, so this building was abandoned by its owner and the roof failed. And unfortunately, it became to a point where nobody wanted to take it on as a renovation project. It had been pushed through tax sale, nobody wanted it, and is now a hazard to the community. We actually had a discussion 2 weeks ago when the rear end of the building fell apart. So it's in really poor repair, and luckily we were already through the process here, about to do bid openings, that we avoided having to do the emergency demolition. So that's generally why we're tearing it down. It was allowed to go too far, and it needs to now be demolished.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Moving forward to the motion for FEMA, Allegheny County 2020 Hazard Mitigation Plan has been approved by FEMA, and Crafton now must adopt the hazard mitigation plan to receive post-disaster program funds for any future related events. This process started last year. Crafton Borough was invited with multiple other municipalities. They had multiple meetings. The manager and the chief of police and the mayor and I were all respondents to the questionnaires, and this is the product of the county's work with the consultant. So that's that. So I move to adopt Resolution 2021-05, adopting the Allegheny County 2020 Hazard Mitigation Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. All right. The DCNR grant resolution, submittal of a $500,000 project application for the renovation of Crafton Pool House. Grant funds would cover up to $250K of the project, with the remainder of the funds coming from the borough. And Mr. Sample, do you want to just remind council and the public how we came to be putting in for this project?
Yes, this was one of the, I'm sorry, this is one of the projects that was identified in the 2013 Recreation Comp Plan. We had slated this for some, are we getting feedback?
We have some open mics out there that are recycling.
Okay,
So somebody has an open mic.
So yes, this was identified as a project. We are going to put in, we are trying, yes. So this has been identified in 2013. This would be, we met on site with architect and Gateway Engineers. The deadline for submittal will be April 15th for this project. We'll hear about funding in October of this year, with a construction cycle to begin next year on the pool house. And hopefully in time for the, will be in time for the pool season, next year's pool season.
Correct. And then in addition, Mr. Amendola asked at the last meeting about, why we didn't proceed with doing some of the bathhouse renovations. Given that this came on the table, we could have rushed to try to do some of that work this winter, but given that this is available, basically that $100,000 that we're thinking about putting into the pool house this is gonna go much further with that match. So for dollar, I think waiting through this cycle is gonna hopefully bear some fruit and complete the vision that was set out in 2013, 2014. Ms. Perry, did you have your hand raised?
I did, but you brought the points to attention.
Wonderful. Therefore, I move to adopt Resolution 2021-06 requesting a grant of $250,000 from the DCNR from the Crafton Pool House renovation project.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Oliverio was very attentive to the media outlets, and I'm going to thank him for bringing this to our attention. We have an extension of the local income tax deadline due to the IRS extension and the Commonwealth's extension for income tax as well. Motion to extend the deadline for local income tax filing to May 17th, 2021.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
For clarity, this is matching the federal and state extension that was just completed or rolled out this week.
Correct. Again, thank you for bringing this to our attention. All right, if I hear no other questions or comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, the motion passes. All right. Doug, do you want to walk us through this?
Yes. So basically, the water company operates under the state guidelines. They've updated a piece of the termination requirements. And this is only for landlords who pay their tenants' water and sewer accounts. So if we're going to shut those off for not, or PA American, or if it's a sewer and we initiate, PA American has to be the ones that actually post the property and do the notification mailings. That's the only real change in the whole process. Jordan traditionally did these duties for us, but with these certain individuals, which are the landlords that are paying the water and sewage for their tenants, PA American will now have to do the notifications. And Jordan is aware of this and concurs. So it's basically administrative agreement.
All right, thank you. All right, therefore, we move to authorize the interim manager to execute the municipal sewer shutoff agreement between Crafton Borough and Pennsylvania American Water Company.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none oppose, motion passes. Thank you. All right. The item that you brought up, Mr. Amendola, with regards to the civil service, I would suggest that we add that to the discussion for the next discussion meeting. Mr. Sample, can you add that to the list?
Yes, I will do that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Amendola. All right, moving forward to community announcements. As we addressed in the last meeting, the Borough Administrative Office is now open to the public. Administrative staff is available during normal business hours from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. to address all borough business. Residents wishing to conduct business in person are asked to come to the door adjacent to the parking lot at the rear of the building. Please press the intercom buzzer and the staff will assist you. No one will be admitted access to the building without a proper mask. In addition, there's a drop-off box in the rear of the building for written correspondence. Administrative staff can be reached by phone at 412-921-0752, extension 10. Non-emergency police matters can be directed to the police secretary at 412-921-2016. Mr. Crown, do you want to read the next announcement?
Got my hand up.
Okay, one moment. We're almost done with the announcements.
Well, if Fred has something to say, that's
I'll just read them.
okay. The Crafton Volunteer Fire Department is going to sponsor the annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 3rd, 2021. It starts promptly at 2:00. Usually it's probably over at 2:15. It's a great time. The kids get down there. The Easter bunny's down there. It's really exciting. The kids really do get involved. So when it is over, though, that the miniature golf, the mini Crafton mini golf will open following the Easter egg hunt until about 3:30 p.m. It's $2 to play for children and adults, and all proceeds will benefit the Crafton Ingram Food Bank. All participants will be required to wear a mask, social distance, and follow the CDC COVID-19 guidelines and regulations. So it is a good time. I'd like to see everybody in Crafton Park on the 3rd.
Thank you, Mr. Crown. And then the library, Crafton Public Library has reopened to the public on March 22nd, 2021. They are so excited to be able to welcome you back into their building. Please visit the library's website for details concerning more detail. All right, thank you. Mr. Amendola, you had your hand raised.
I just wanted to mention that I'm getting a lot of inquiries from residents that would like to see our meetings be brought back to the Borough building. A lot of people really don't have access to Zoom and really, can't participate in the meetings. I think it's time that we start to talk about it. We can use the recreation center in the back of the council chambers and put the seats 6 feet apart, make everybody wear a mask, take everyone's temperature. I'll volunteer to do that when they come in the door, take everyone's temperature. It's time we need to get back into the building and get off this Zoom. Many other municipalities, the county, many municipalities are doing it, and we should be too. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Amendola. Can we add that to the discussion meeting for the next meeting as well, please?
Yes.
All right. Was somebody else had their hands raised?
Yeah, Mr. President, I just had a question on the Easter egg hunt. Where is it going to take place?
It's usually, John, in the main park.
Okay.
They spread the eggs around in the main park itself.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Moving forward to public comment. At this time, citizens may address the Crafton Borough Council on any issue. Only residents and taxpayers of the Borough of Crafton will be permitted to address the council. Comments on non-agenda items will be taken at the end of tonight's meeting. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Groups of people will be required to designate a spokesperson to represent them before the council, who may speak for a maximum of 5 minutes. So please state your name and physical address for the record. Do we have any folks?
No hands up at this point.
Just give everybody a second. All right.
I think we're good.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting, and look forward to seeing everybody in a couple of weeks. Meeting adjourned.
I got a question. Anybody, one of the guys running the meeting. I don't have at the bottom, I always had a raise hand little thing at the bottom of my screen.